FYI is your news show. All year, we report on the big news stories that matter to you.
And since it's our last show of the year, we thought we'd get the whole gang together to bring you FYI's That Was 2023.
"2023 was a year of shocking events that affected many young people across the world.
This is my destroyed school.
And here in the UK, we took your issues to the very top.
The adverts for these things are designed to appeal to kids. That's not right.
Welcome to FYI's That Was 2023. Wow, guys, what a year it's been.
I know, and as well as bringing you all the latest news stories, we do have fun too.
And on this episode, we'll be looking back at some of our highlights, as well as showing our favourite stories from you.
First, we're kicking things off with our special FYI Investigates, Kids Who Vape, which, Braden, you headed up.
Yeah, I looked into the thousands of people our age that have been sucked into trying vaping because of the bright packaging and the sweet flavours, even though it's illegal to buy or sell vapes to under 18s. Check it out. So, how old were you when you first started vaping?
I was 12 in year 8.
So about like 13 years old.
I was 15. Basically all of my friends did it, so I just hung around with them so much that I was like, why not?
Vaping companies aren't allowed to target teenagers with advertising for e-cigarettes. But are they finding clever ways to get around those rules? Helping me to check them out is Chris Arning, a branding and marketing expert. So what are your first impressions?
Well, Braden, my first impressions is we've stumbled into a sweet shop here. These are all quite bright, aren't they? We're going to cop lurid pinks and kind of reds and yellows. And certainly I'm thinking there's definitely an appeal to younger people.
We're going to send this programme to the Prime Minister so he can see what we found out. So recently I investigated the rising increase in the amount of children that have started to take up vaping. So what are we going to do?
You're right. You know, the adverts for these things are designed to appeal to kids.
Yeah.
You know, with the colours they use, the characters they use. That's not right. This is all things that shouldn't be happening.
And just to bring you an update, the government's planning on bringing in a new law in 2024 to tackle underage vaping.
I mean, it was a great investigation, Braden. And here on FYI, we will always put forward the big questions to the people in charge of the country.
And to the people who want their jobs as well. Yeah, like we did with Sir Keir Starmer, the leader of the Labour Party who wants to be the next Prime Minister. Check it out. You haven't been the government in 13 years. I mean, that's nearly my entire life.
Don't rub it in. This is getting
It's
tough.
nearly my entire life. Well, in the hope of getting elected, you've pledged that you will deliver a better economy, national health service, tackle crime, the climate crisis, and deliver a better education for all of us. Loads of leaders have promised that time and time again. So why do you think we should trust you and believe you're actually going to do all of that?
Well, I think it's really important that we've only said 5 things. So a lot of people who want to be in government say, oh, we do everything you want, you know, you just name it, we'll do it. We've said, no, we're going to be really, really focused. Obviously, the test in the end of whether people trust us is when we get to that general election.
Another big topic this year was the cost of living crisis, which continued to dominate the headlines.
With millions of families struggling to pay the bills and buy food, there has been a greater need for free school meals.
But in England, only certain pupils are allowed free school dinners.
We asked the Government Education Secretary, Gillian Keegan, if the government was going to do more to make sure that nobody goes hungry. There's been growing demand for free school meals for all, so why isn't the government doing that?
So if you gave it for everybody, then that means a lot of people who don't need it would get it. What you're trying to do is make sure it gets to the most disadvantaged people. And then the other thing that we put in was free school meals for all infants. And now we've just put in breakfasts in those areas that are more deprived.
In London, the Mayor, Sadiq Khan, brought in free school lunches to all primary school children.
Why do you guys think free school meals are important? The cost of living crisis, as some families can't afford it, and having a warm meal would be very beneficial.
If this was free, parents could relax more. Everyone should have the right to have a full meal.
I find that getting free school meals can be pretty complicated. It depends on how much your parents earn, how much financial support you get from the government, and it also depends on where you live. Children's charities say this is unfair and claim there are 800,000 children in need of free school meals who just don't get them.
So what I want the government to do is to provide free school meals for all children in primary schools and secondary schools, and say, look, if the mayor can do it in London, we should be able to do it as well.
As well as reporting on all the issues that matter to you here in the UK, we also report on events around the world which affect children.
Yeah, and this year there have been some really shocking events that young people have had to deal with.
February marked the anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. We caught up with Elia, who fled the war as a teenager to come to the UK. She wanted to return home to see her parents.
It feels so weird that I escaped this place once, and I escaped the war once, and now I'm going back there deliberately.
After a 40-hour journey on coaches, Elia is just moments away from being with her parents.
She was upset to see that her old school had been bombed.
This was my English class. This is my destroyed school.
In June, in the Amazon rainforest in Colombia, we reported on one of the most amazing survival stories we've ever come across.
It's here that a small aircraft crash-landed in the middle of nowhere. 4 children escaped the crash relatively unhurt. But sadly, the 3 adults they were with, including their mother, didn't survive.
So the children were left completely alone. The oldest only 13, the others 9, 4, and just 1.
And amazingly, they survived for 40 days until they were found by a Colombian military search party.
They'd eaten bags of flour from the plane and rainforest fruits. Their first words, not surprisingly, were that they were very hungry.
The ability to be able to survive and even thrive during that time is phenomenal for anyone. But for it to be done by a group of children, the youngest of whom was 1 year old, is completely beyond my understanding.
And in October, war broke out in Israel and Gaza. After decades of fighting over land, the Gaza-based Palestinian militant group Hamas launched a deadly attack on Israel, killing many people and taking others hostage, including children.
Israel is at war.
The attack resulted in Israel carrying out airstrikes and a ground invasion into Gaza.
Gaza is home to 2 million people. Half of them are children, and many thousands have been killed in the conflict.
القصف فوق رؤوسنا وقاعدين مش عارفين ايش نسوي. فبابا قال خلينا نروح على المدارس لأنه المدارس هي اللي بتحمينا.
Can you believe FYI has been going for 5 years now?
I know. In November, we celebrated our 5th birthday and we ate some cake with some old familiar faces.
But Braden, you've been here from the very start.
I know it's been brilliant being on this show from the very beginning. It's been a massive part of my childhood.
Well, we have a very special clip for you, Braden.
FYI isn't just any new show, it's your new show, where we get to investigate on world events and where we get a say. And we've been doing this for quite a while now.
How did you feel when you were like, that's where I live down there and I can now see it?
That view that you're looking down there, I mean, when you see the first view of planet Earth, it's mesmerising.
Oh, wow, Braden, what a clip. You were so sweet back then.
Good clip that in here. And I actually got to talk again with Tim Peake this year. Check it out. Should we be flying into space, especially taking into consideration at the moment the cost of living crisis and climate change?
I think it's very, very important that we do travel into space for a number of reasons. And firstly, you know, satellites and space is giving us more than half of the data we need to understand our climate. So on the one hand, we think about, you know, climate change and should we travel into space, but without space, we don't know what's happening to the planet.
Climate change is something that we know is important to you.
Yeah, and this year the world continued to face more extreme weather.
Here in Europe, the summer heatwave dominated the news, bringing with it record-breaking temperatures and wildfires.
Floods and storms also hit many parts of the world, including here in the UK.
There was water coming from the stairs outside. Some of the classes got flooded.
This month, a big climate change conference called COP28 took place in Dubai, where world leaders gathered to discuss tackling the climate crisis.
There's been a lot of drama there, hasn't there?
Yeah, and the COP28 chief has faced criticism because he's also the boss of an oil company.
On FYI, we caught up with 12-year-old climate activist Lissy Priya, who was speaking on behalf of children at COP28.
And unbelievably, she actually got thrown out of COP28 for daring to protest about the need to stop fossil fuels.
And she's not the only one who's been asking tough questions. In our Climate Check hot seat, we grilled company bosses on what they're actually doing to tackle climate change. In 2022, over half the UK's electricity was still produced by power stations fuelled by coal and gas. Fossil fuels responsible for global warming, meaning 1/6 of the UK's total carbon emissions came from electricity generation. So I put Ben Wilson, the National Grid's interim president, in the FYI hot seat to see what exactly is being done to lower these carbon emissions. The National Grid still relies on gas and coal stations to get a lot of their energy from. Doesn't really seem like the National Grid has changed much since it first launched in 1935, nearly 90 years ago.
Actually, there's been an enormous amount of change. We were down over last winter to just 2 coal-fired power stations left. This coming winter, there'll be no coal at all. So we've got off coal. We have, as a country, emissions now which are as low as they were in the 1890s. You're right, we still have a lot of gas, but the first quarter of this year, we actually have more electricity generated from wind than from gas for the first time ever.
And at COP28, governments did commit to moving away from the use of fossil fuels.
Now, FYI is your show, and we love sharing your stories.
Yeah, here's some of our favourites from the year.
I'm a runner. I train every week as well as compete. But did you know more than half of girls quit their favourite sport by the time they finish school? But why is this?
I speak to any child with a parent in prison. Please remember, whatever our parents did or didn't do, this does not define us.
Hi, my name is Phoebe and I live in a bus with my family.
All 6 of us!
Do you want to come for a look round? Come on then. Here we've got like a lounge area and this is mine and my sister's bedroom.
We're here to see some stunt demos and I really hope I'm going to get to try some of them myself.
The Football Association has exciting new plans to help us girls get better coaching. If you're a talented footballer, there is more opportunities to play football professionally. DJ Sunshine in the house.
I want to be an astronaut and a scientist, so I want to be the first DJ in space.
I've been playing golf since I was 6 years old when my dad took me to the driving range. I love golf so much I even play it in the rain.
Remember, to get your say on FYI, you can set up an FYI News Club in your school. And we might come and pay you a visit, or share your story with us via our website, first.news/FYI.
As well as bringing you all the serious news stories, we also get to have a lot of fun on the show.
Definitely. Here are some of our own highlights from the year.
Well, this is going to be fun then. Let's give it a go.
They both beat me, but I beat Braden though.
This is Deadline Day FYI Takeover. I'm here at Sky Sports to go behind the scenes to find out how some of the world's biggest transfers get done.
The atmosphere is building. City have got all 3 trophies on the front and it's getting lively. Now here they come! Come on!
Ready, Maya?
Ready. Remember, these guys are experts. Do not try this at home. That's sick.
This is the Golden Hind, a 50-year-old ship which completed many Atlantic crossings and sailed more than 100,000 miles. Impressive, right?
3, 2, 1, go.
If you appear to be so good all saints, you better come and get a trophy. Where are they?
No one again! No one again! No one again! They're going down! Let's go! Let's go!
Well, that's it from all of us in 2023. We hope you have a great holiday and
See you in 2024.